Hello everyone, my name is Luke, aka Mr. Rage. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a literal month since my last video, at least according to my stats on my channel here, but yeah, you can already tell from the title of tonight's video, we are once again going to be talking about Xbox. And I know, in my previous video talking about Xbox, I said I was done with the console and I would be switching to PS5. That's not happening anymore because I've decided that I'm going to be switching to PC instead. And the reason why, I mean, come on now, is there even a reason? Like, what other reason is there to switch to PC besides everyone else's reason? Everyone has the same reason for switching over to PC from console. PC is just better, so there's no point in me even explaining why I'm going to switch to PC. Except for the fact that PC has a lot of horror games, and you guys know that I have a very unhealthy horror game obsession, so that's one other reason why I'll be switching to PC gaming. PC gaming, you know, PCs have way better horror games, and, you know, just PCs just have more freedom, man. I mean, I don't know. It just, PC just has such better accessibility than every other console in the current market. You know, you've got it besides the mods. Like, it's not just the mods that PC has. Everything about PC is better. My favorite thing about PC undoubtedly is the fact that you can always upgrade your PC. Like, I could buy myself a moderate PC. Like, I could go right now and buy myself a moderate PC, you know, a moderate PC parts, and in the future, if I become more financially successful, I could always upgrade my PC and buy more powerful parts for it. Like, I don't gotta wait for a next generation console to come around to get better graphics and better performance from my gaming device. When it comes to PC, you can just wait till you get more money and just buy better powerful parts. So PC is just better, man. Like, everyone knows that PC gaming is the way to go. Like, besides the accessibility, all the games PC gets, we get Xbox games, I'll be getting PlayStation games, I'll still get Xbox games. I mean, PC is the way to go. I'm very happy that I will be switching to PC hopefully next year. Next year for when my 18th birthday comes around, that's what I'll be doing for my 18th birthday. I will be building my very first gaming PC. So, yeah, I'll be switching to PC very soon. I'm very, very excited. Hopefully, my mental illness will also be under control by then so I could actually enjoy the fucking thing. But I've decided to talk about Xbox once again because when it comes to me and Xbox, it's very, very personal. Been with Xbox since I was a little kid, and honestly, if it wasn't for Xbox, then I would have probably never gotten into gaming as much as I have these days. Like, I have a shit ton of thanks to give to Xbox. I'm glad that I was there during the 360 era, so I was able to experience half of the golden years of Xbox. I may have not experienced it in the early 2000s, but I'd say I still was able to experience a good deal of the golden years of the 360 era, and that's one of the reasons why I'm such a huge Xbox fan, even till this day. It's not just because Xbox got me into gaming, it's also because I experienced some of my very best gaming memories on the Xbox 360, and that's the console that pretty much got me into gaming. It's the console where I experienced some of my happiest gaming memories and my happiest childhood memories in general, just playing games on my Xbox 360. So I just have so much thanks to give to the Xbox and to Microsoft because they made a very great deal of my childhood just with the Xbox 360 alone. And the Xbox 360 is the only reason why I'm still very loyal to Xbox. But if you guys couldn't already tell from the title of tonight's video, this is going to be a positive video about Xbox, and I just want to say it is so relieving to finally be giving Xbox some positivity because they finally did a good game. They finally gave us a good game in 2023. Besides Hi-Fi Rush, and yes, if you couldn't already tell what game it is, Starfield. Starfield is actually good. Thank the gaming lords, or just thank God in general. I don't know. Just thank Bethesda, thank Microsoft, whoever was in charge of the creation of Starfield Whether it was all of Bethesda, whether it was from the combined efforts from Bethesda and Xbox Game Studios as a whole, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, whoever was involved, whether it was all of them or some of them, thank you. Thank you for finally giving us one good Xbox exclusive besides Hi-Fi Rush. Because what, that game came out like early February. That game is old as fuck. Thank you for finally giving us one big AAA Xbox exclusive game that's actually worth it. And of course on Game Pass as well. But I haven't played Starfield yet, but I've seen a lot of reviews, I've seen a lot of gameplay, and the game is good. It's a good game. Xbox is finally somewhat pulling themselves out of the shit that they have put themselves in. They're kind of pulling themselves out. Now, do I think that Xbox has made their full comeback yet? No, of course not. Not even close. Now, yes, Starfield may be a good game. Yes, and I'm very happy about that. I'm glad that Microsoft and Phil Spencer are finally realizing that just because their games are free on Game Pass doesn't mean that they have a pass to make shit games. Because let me tell y'all something. For years, Microsoft has been making crappy games. Xbox Game Studios has been making shitty games. And these shitty games are polluting Game Pass. But Game Pass was always the actual issue behind this, because the reason why Phil Spencer and Microsoft never cared about how their games were being made by the shitty studios that make their games in the first place, the reason why they never gave a shit about their shitty games is because Microsoft always thought that since their games are free on Game Pass and since Game Pass is so cheap, people wouldn't care if the games were shit. Us the gamers, Xbox players, me, they thought that I wouldn't care and everyone else wouldn't care, that just because they make shit games but those shit games are free on Game Pass, they thought that we wouldn't care. Wrong. We do care, okay? You see, just because a game is free but shit, would you still want to play it? You know? If someone offered you a handful of human or animal feces, would you still take it just because it's free? No. And the same applies here to video games and movies. If a video game is garbage, then I'm not going to play it even if it's free, because then it's still a waste of my time. I may not be wasting money on it, but I will be wasting my time, my energy, and my patience. So no, Microsoft, just because your shitty games are free on your little subscription service doesn't mean I'm still actually going to play them. But you see, Microsoft and Phil Spencer, after Redfall, which I'm actually thankful for, if it wasn't for Redfall, then Microsoft and Phil Spencer would have never actually turned around and been like, oh, wait a minute, we can't give our people shitty games because just because they're free, they still don't want to play them because no one is even playing Redfall. The game is dead. The game is literally dead. It's more dead than those crappy-ass multiplayer mobile games that no one plays. Hell, I think even those games get more players than Redfall. The game is dead. There's literally only 20 players left. I'm pretty sure those 20 players actually know each other because it's a small little group. Redfall is dead. No one's going to play that shit and it's never going to get any updates. Even if it does get a 60 FPS update, no one is playing Redfall, okay? Redfall is the worst fucking game ever made in this entire year. It is the worst game of the year. Besides Forspoken, that one fucking PlayStation game. It's ironic that both PlayStation and Xbox both had a shitty game this year. Except for, I'd say Forspoken was probably worse, though. I'll admit, Redfall was a huge tragedy. And before I talk about the positive side about Xbox, we gotta talk about Arcane Studios for a minute. Arcane Studios is... I don't even think it's arguable that Arcane Studios is one of the best when it comes to Bethesda's games. Arcane has made so many great games. Besides the Dishonored series, you know, you've got Prey, Deathloop. Deathloop was a very, very decent game, I'd say. I mean, it was something different. It was something unique. And that's what good games need these days. Good games also need to be unique, original, and they actually need to be creative. That's why I praise creative developers, because creative developers will make creative and original games that have great concepts, which leads to great gameplay, great features, and just a good game game in general. So Arcane has got those qualities, at least I think. Maybe they don't anymore. I don't know what's going on with Arcane, but Xbox better fucking sort that shit out. Like, Phil Spencer, sort that fucking shit out. Okay? You better sort that fucking shit out. Alright? Because Arcane is one of the best when it comes to Bethesda. Okay, besides just Dishonored, I don't know why Redfall failed as hard as it did. The game had a great concept. It was basically Left 4 Dead, except for it was more of a looter shooter instead of zombie slaying with friends. And the vampire concept and the open world, it was literally just Left 4 Dead, but it was basically a vampire looter shooter Left 4 Dead. And that's why I was so pumped for the game, just like others who were also pumped for the game. I mean, people don't get hyped for a game if it doesn't have a good concept. And goddamn it, Redfall had a great concept, and it was executed so poorly. Redfall still breaks my heart, honestly. I got that red depression from Redfall. It gave me depression, and I'm not even exaggerating. Redfall broke my heart in so many places. Honestly, call this cringe, but Redfall broke my heart way more than any of my ex-girlfriends ever could even imagine. Because I was so hyped for the game. I wanted Redfall to be my game of the year. I said that in my previous video as well. I wanted Redfall to be my game of the year because I also said this in my previous video, but everything in Redfall was literally right up my alley. The open world concept, the vampires, the looter shooter aspects, everything. Because I love vampires, I love the horror genre, I love the survival aspects, I love the fact that the game had a little bit of Dying Light going for it with the nighttime aspects, you know, because at nighttime the vampires get more dangerous or whatever. It's like the game was being made just for me because everything I love was in that game. Every single concept and mechanic, from the smallest to the biggest concepts, everything I love was in Redfall, and they royally fucked it up. They done fucked it up. So Redfall still breaks my heart. Now Xbox, I'm really trying. All right, I came back to Xbox. Okay, I could be playing on my PS5. I just came back to my Xbox as well. I was on my PS5 for a couple of months. I just came back to my Xbox. I just hooked it up again, and they still fucked it up. I'm trying to give Xbox another chance. I really, really am. Okay, Starfield gives me a little bit of hope. You know, Starfield gives me a little bit of light at the end of that long tunnel of bullshit and lies. You know, because Xbox has also done a lot of lying. I mean, speaking of Redfall again, I know I'm trying not to make this about Redfall, but Arcane Studios promised a 60 FPS update, as well as a plethora of bug fixes, and none of it is here yet. And it has been months. I doubt Redfall will get any updates. And not only that, but something that's also a bit more troubling is people who brought the special edition of Redfall, the Bite Back edition, or as I like to say, the Bite Ass edition, $100 by the way, including a plethora of unreleased DLC. That DLC is still not here yet. And it was supposed to be a long time ago. And if you go on the Microsoft store right now and look at the reviews for Redfall, people are already complaining that they have not gotten their content that they paid $100 for. Microsoft, please fucking sort out Arcane Studios. And like, listen, again, I really, really don't want to believe that Arcane has become a shitty developer. Please not Arcane, okay? Because Arcane is one of those developers that puts a lot of passion and a lot of patience in their games, and those two qualities is already enough alone to make good games, okay? When a developer has both passion and patience, as well as lots of love and care to actually make sure that their games are fully baked and have all of the delicious things inside of that pie to actually make it a good game before it even comes out of the oven, that's what makes good games, okay? Think of a good game as like literally baking a pie. You have to let the pie bake, but you also have to fill it up with really good ingredients. And after you're done filling the game up with those good ingredients, you gotta let it cook. Okay, that's how you make good games. You fill the pie up with good ingredients, make it delicious, make it nutritious. You wait for it to come out of the oven, and that's what makes a good game. Those are the developers that I want from Xbox. Okay, and these are the type of developers that Phil Spencer and Xbox Game Studios should be getting. Like I said, think of video game creation as baking a pie, but just one really big pie. Like I said earlier, you fill it up with lots of delicious ingredients, you bake it, you give it to us. That's all it takes. But good game developers also have a lot of patience, and they have a lot of love and a lot of dedication. Those are the most important qualities of making good games. Passion, patience, love, care, and dedication. A good game developer cares just as much about the game they're making as the people who play it, meaning us. And when you have a developer that actually loves the games that they're making, that's the type of developer that you can trust. Because a developer that actually loves their games that they're making will actually make sure that the game is good for us. Those are the type of developers that we need here at Xbox Game Studios. And I am hoping that Arcane Studios from Bethesda will bounce back. Because Redfall was... God. I played Redfall with my buddy. Me and him, we played Redfall together. And it was literally... We only played it for an hour. And the entire hour of us playing it was... so fucking bad. Just thinking about it brings back the memories of how much pain the game caused me in just the short hour I played it. God. Fucking hell. I gotta stop talking about Redfall. It's actually starting... my depressive PTSD is coming back. I'm not trying to sound like a drama queen, but holy shit. Redfall was really bad. I don't even know if Arcane can bounce back from how disastrous Redfall was. And even, like, listen, even if the game does actually get a 60 FPS mode and it gets out some bug fixes, the game is still dead. The game is... In order to bring back Redfall, in order to actually make Redfall a game worth playing, you are going to literally have to redo the whole game from scratch. Maybe not all the way, but the game is going to need a complete overhaul, a complete redesign, if you will. Because there are so many things wrong with Redfall, okay? The amount of bad that the game does really outweighs the amount of good it does, okay? The game does way worse than it does good, unfortunately. So, no bug fixes and no 60 FPS mode are going to fix how bad Redfall is. So Microsoft, Phil Spencer, whoever the fuck is listening, if you want people to play Redfall again, and if you want Arcane to bounce back, there's two things you could do. Either make sure that Arcane doesn't fuck up on the next project, or try and fix Redfall. You know what? Do both of those things. Like, do both. Have Arcane remake Redfall, do a complete redesign of that game's actual gameplay design and the game design in general, and make sure that they don't fuck up on the next game. And you want to know something that really pisses me off? Apparently, Arcane Studios actually wanted to cancel Redfall, but Microsoft and Phil Spencer said no to that decision. That really pissed me off. Okay, that filled me with so much rage that I was actually struggling to not smash my Xbox controller. Because at that point, I realized that I was right. Because when I tell you guys that I believe that Microsoft and Phil Spencer don't care about the quality of their games, I'm just making assumptions. I don't know if I'm actually right about that fact. But when I heard that Microsoft actually said no to Arcane wanting to cancel Redfall because of how bad the game was in its current state, that actually pissed me off because I realized that my assumption was not an actual assumption. It was a lucky guess, an unfortunate guess, that Microsoft doesn't care about the quality of their exclusive games. And that still pisses me off. Even despite Starfield being good, that still pisses me off because I just now realized that the reason why Redfall sucked was because Microsoft said no to Arcane wanting to cancel its production. If Microsoft would have let Arcane remake the game and let them start from scratch, maybe Redfall could have been good, because at this point, I'm pretty sure even Arcane knew that Redfall was a bad game before it even came out, because Why else would they ask Microsoft if they can cancel the creation of the game, the production or whatever? And then Microsoft said, nope, we can't do that because we need more games to add to Game Pass. Oh, you don't know if the game sucks or not? You don't know if the game is good? Who cares? Just put it on Game Pass. It'll be okay. People will still play it. It's on Game Pass. People won't actually spend their money on it. What about the people who bought the Buyback Edition? It's funny how Microsoft has this mentality that they're not worried about their games sucking because their games are free on Game Pass, but what about the fucking special editions that cost over $100? Huh? What about that, Microsoft? What about those special editions of the game, huh? People are still paying for those, you know? That's not on Game Pass. I'm really, really hoping that Microsoft has learned their lesson, you know, about them not caring about the quality of their games, because god damn it, you really got to. This may be a really bold prediction, but if Microsoft doesn't get their fucking ass out of their... if they don't get their fucking head out their ass, or if they don't pull themselves out of the shit that they have buried themselves in, Xbox is going to die. It's a bold prediction, and it's one that will probably not come true, but either Xbox is going to fucking die, or it's going to lose so many customers that it loses a lot of its relevance, and then eventually it'll die. Okay? Because if Xbox starts losing a lot of its players, which it already is, by the way, I already know it's not going to be good for Xbox. Like, even if Xbox doesn't die, Xbox will lose so much. So Microsoft, please, have the goddamn leadership, and please make sure that there is actual care and quality going into the creation of your games. Okay? Fuck the Game Pass for a minute. Stop thinking about Game Pass for a minute. It's not just about how many games you can add to Game Pass. It's about if those games are actually good enough to even want to play in the first place. If you can't do that, then do better. Because I'm not playing that shit. I don't fucking care if it's on Game Pass. I don't even have Game Pass anymore. There's no fucking reason to. If the games on Game Pass are not even going to be worth playing, then why the fuck should I even pay for the damn thing? What's the point? What's the goddamn point? Microsoft, get your fucking brain working again, because it clearly isn't working right. I'm hoping that Starfield is the confirmation I needed to actually trust you people again. Because if you fuck up one more time, I will sell my Xbox, I will delete my Microsoft account, and I will never touch another game from you people ever again. I'm already switching to PC, but it's not about that. Okay? It's about the fact that I actually care about Xbox. I am an Xbox fan. I am the biggest Xbox fan in the entire globe. There is no other Xbox fan who loves Xbox as much as I do. Okay? My life was pretty shitty when I was a kid. Alright? I had a difficult childhood. My Xbox is what kept me going. If it wasn't for my Xbox, I would probably not be here right now. Either I would have ended up in a mental institution, or I would have killed myself. Because I had a pretty rough childhood. I love Xbox just as much as the fucking fanboys who say that every Xbox exclusive is good. And for those fucking Xbox fanboys out there, quite simply, fuck you. Okay? And for the ones who actually are like me, the ones who love Xbox but also want them to do good, not you guys, okay? You guys I respect, but for these toxic-ass Xbox fanboys who think that every single exclusive Xbox makes is good and Game Pass is good and PlayStation sucks, like, shut the fuck up, alright? Shut the fuck up. Every console fanboy is a joke, alright? Their life is a circus and they're the clown in it, okay? Fuck console fanboys, right? If you're a console fanboy, suck my fucking dick, alright? Suck my dick and lick my ass too if you want it. Great, because those people fucking suck, okay? They suck dick. They suck more dick than they offer to suck my dick, okay? They already do suck dick. They suck Microsoft and Sony's dick, okay? This is not about console fanboyism, okay? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Console fanboyism is a pathetic concept made by retarded, low IQ people who are unfortunately polluting the gaming community, okay? So, fuck those people. Okay, this ain't about console fanboyism. Now, Microsoft, some quick tips. Here are a couple of things Xbox can do to bounce back. Number one, like I said earlier, make sure that every single exclusive game that comes out for Xbox, make sure that the developers are actually putting quality in it. Quality and care are the two most important elements needed when creating a video game. Actually, it's four: quality, care, love, and passion. Make sure that the developers making your games have these qualifications, because if they don't, it'll probably end up like all the other crappy Xbox exclusives you have been getting since the Xbox One era. I mean, even with Starfield, Xbox is still not doing very good. Okay, how many fucking bad games have we gotten in just these first couple of years of the Xbox Series X? Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Crossfire X, Scorn. That's 4 crappy ass games already. And also, not only that, but can we please cut out the microtransactions? Okay, I just realized something actually. A lot of Xbox exclusive games coming out these days have a lot of microtransactions, and they are also live service. Okay, one of their live service games already failed. Crossfire X was supposed to be Microsoft's Call of Duty before they tried to buy Call of Duty, and Crossfire X failed hard. But it was supposed to be a live service game with microtransactions. That game already failed. But Crossfire X is not the only live service game on Xbox with microtransactions. We also have Sea of Thieves, Gears of War 5, Halo Infinite. And one thing I realized is a lot of Xbox exclusives are actually live service multiplayer games. Bleeding Edge, which was an older Xbox exclusive, was also a live service game of microtransactions. As a matter of fact, let me check the release date on that game. Let me see how old that was. This game came out in 2020, alright? And this was by Ninja Theory, an actual good developer, okay? Bleeding Edge is a live service multiplayer game with microtransactions, alright? The game is also not beginner. This game is actually dead, okay? So why am I even telling you if it's beginner friendly? The game is dead, okay? It's dead just like Redfall is dead, okay? Microsoft, enough with the live service bullshit, okay? Multiplayer games are cool and all, but look at Sony, okay? Look at Sony. Look at Capcom. Look at Rockstar. All of those developers are successful because of the single-player games they make. And listen, I'm not trying to sound like a bit of an asshole here, but if you think multiplayer games are better than single-player games, you are an idiot, because that's just not how it goes. Some of the greatest games ever made are single-player games, and that's because single-player games are designed to be better than multiplayer games. They're designed to be more fun. They have better design in their gameplay. They have better stories. I've got the story, of course. Sure, there are multiplayer games that also have good stories, but my point is single-player games are better at the end of the day. And you see, the thing is, if Microsoft wants to make more multiplayer games than single-player games, that's fine, but Microsoft is doing it for all the wrong reasons. This is another assumption here that I'm making, but why do you people think that Microsoft and Xbox Game Studios are so focused on multiplayer games? Because it is a lot easier to implement microtransactions in multiplayer games than it is single-player games, okay? Implementing microtransactions in single-player games is bound to piss people off, especially these days. And it's also very hard to implement them in the first place. Okay, the only actual thing you have that comes close to microtransactions in single-player games is expansion passes and DLC expansions. But to add actual full-on microtransactions, like pay-to-win shit basically, it is very hard to implement those in single-player games. And even if you actually do manage to implement them, like I said earlier, they're going to piss a lot of people off. And Microsoft knows this, so to avoid the controversy, this is why Microsoft is so focused on making multiplayer games, because like I said earlier, it is a lot easier to add microtransactions in a multiplayer game than it is single-player games, because multiplayer games obviously have communities, they have player bases, and when you add microtransactions, you've got those player bases who are spending money on those microtransactions. And listen, I've said this before about microtransactions. You don't have to be greedy and add microtransactions, but at the same time, you can add microtransactions and not be greedy, because you can add microtransactions in a game without making it pay to win. Okay, when it comes to adding microtransactions in live service games, let me make an example here. The Dying Light games, Dying Light 1 and 2, both of these games have DLC weapons. There's DLC weapons and they come with skins as well. You know, so you get some decent content. But the thing is, these microtransactions, which they are, these are microtransactions, but they're not pay to win, you see? It's not like GTA Online or Call of Duty, where if you don't buy the in-game microtransactions, you're going to have a disadvantage, or you'll have a less fun time playing the game unless you spend money on the in-game content. No. Okay, that's what we call pay to win, okay? When a game is pay to win, that means that if you don't spend money on the in-game microtransactions and don't buy the in-game items with in-game currency that requires actual real-life money, if you don't spend your money on in-game currency to buy those items, that means you will have either less fun playing the game, or you'll be at a disadvantage if it's a multiplayer game, which most of the time it is. When it comes to Dying Light, it's not like that, okay? Because in Dying Light 1 and 2, yes, you have the option of buying that extra DLC. Like, you can buy those extra DLC weapons and those extra DLC skins. But do you have to buy those skins in order to actually enjoy the game? No. The game is fun whether you buy those skins or those weapons either way. The game is still going to be fun. And they are also very reasonably priced. Okay, the DLC for Dying Light 1 and 2, it's fucking dirt cheap. Like, you can buy a bunch of DLC weapons and DLC skins all in one package for like $6, $7. That's very reasonably priced. Those are the type of microtransactions I don't mind. And the same goes for Dead by Daylight and Behavior Interactive. Every chapter Dead by Daylight gets is only $7. The recent Alien chapter was $10, but that's alright though, because it's still not that expensive. And again, it's not pay to win. Okay, so if Microsoft starts following these business practices as well, then it won't be as bad. And when it comes to live service multiplayer games, here's the thing. If you're going to make a live service multiplayer game, it takes a lot more hard work to actually make a game like that good. Because you see, when it comes to making live service multiplayer games, you have to make the game fun enough for people to always come back. You know, and you have to constantly add in new content drops, new updates, new game modes, design updates, you know, stuff like that, you know, crossover events. You got to add all those things. And you also have to have a fun gameplay design in general. You know, the game has to have a fun gameplay design as well. So when it comes to making live service multiplayer games, it is very important that the game is of extremely high quality. Because if the game is not of high quality, then it'll probably die soon, and then the whole game will just die. Because again, it's live service. If a live service game starts doing players in large numbers, it's gonna die. Because then no one's gonna be playing it anymore, and then the game will just lose all of its updates, and the game will literally just the game will die. So, Microsoft, if you're going to make live service multiplayer games, please make sure that the developers know what they are getting themselves into, and make sure that they are prepared to add lots of content drops, lots of updates, and a whole lot of dedication. They have to have dedication even after they've finished making the actual game, so, you know, when the content drops come, because they have to be 100% dedicated, because after they're done making the game, they still got to put a lot of patience and dedication into it, because it's a live service game. You got to constantly update it. And you got to add new game modes, you know, like Fortnite and Call of Duty. You got to add game modes, fun content drops, in-game events, you know, like, to keep the community pleased. So again, fun gameplay, fun game design, and a shitload of dedication. And please, die down on the microtransactions, alright? I understand that these games are free on Game Pass, but just die down on the microtransactions, man. Like, come on, like, don't be like Activision. Ironically, Microsoft is buying Activision, so. But anyways, yeah, so the new Forza game has a shit ton of microtransactions as well. And you see, the Forza Horizon games have a shit ton of pay-to-win content, unfortunately. Now, when it comes to the Forza games, it's a bit of a touchy subject because the Forza games are good, but like I said earlier, they are filled to the brim with in-game pay-to-win content, which is really fucking annoying, okay? That rubs me the wrong way, okay? When it rubs me like that, I don't want to pick up the controller and play. I want to pick up the controller and throw it away, you know? Because I don't like microtransactions like that, okay? If I am paying over $30 for in-game microtransactions and in-game DLC, unless it brings me a shit ton of free content and just good content in general, I don't like paying for that. So yes, Microsoft, if you're going to put more focus on multiplayer live service games, you gotta make sure the games are fun. You gotta make sure they're fun first. You gotta make sure they're gonna have new game modes, good future DLC and updates, and don't go crazy with the microtransactions, alright? I understand that GTA Online has a shit ton of it, but people are stupid. So maybe the microtransaction doesn't matter because, you know, we all know what gamers are like these days. You know, I see people these days spending hundreds of dollars on in-game currency. So maybe the microtransactions don't matter. You know, just don't make it pay to win, okay? If you're going to have microtransactions, fine. Just don't make it pay to win, all right? That's all I'm asking. Don't make it pay to win. Next thing Microsoft can do to make better games, besides putting lots of quality care into their games in the first place, make sure the games have good concepts. Originality, you know? Don't be cliche, you know? Make good concepts for your games, man. I mean, make original games. Creative and original, okay? That's also a very important aspect to making good games, all right? That's another thing you could add there. Not only that, but another thing Xbox can add, maybe some new features, because, you know, Xbox Series X as a console, it's cool and all, but, Xbox is kind of lacking in features. You know, Xbox is kind of lacking in features. Another thing we need for better exclusive games, we need bigger games as well, okay? For whatever reason, we have been getting a lot of smaller indie-like Xbox exclusive games, and they're alright and all. You know, we've been getting games like Grounded, that's more of a smaller game. We've been getting some other ones. I mean, they're okay, but you see, the thing is, smaller games like that do not require a lot of effort. And I'm hoping that Xbox Studios doesn't get too used to making these smaller games that require less determination and dedication to actually make. So, like, I understand. Listen, I understand that it's very hard to make bigger games, bigger quality games. I understand that, you know, the expectations people have and the amount of hard work and the determination and the mental and physical fatigue, but that's why I'm saying developers who actually love their games, those are the type of developers that know what they're getting themselves into, and they go through all the hardship because they actually love their games. That's why I'm saying we need those type of developers, because those are the type of developers that will always make the best games, okay? You're never going to get a good game from a developer who doesn't care, because those type of developers, if they don't care about the game they're making, then they won't even have the passion and the dedication and the patience to even make the game good in the first place if they don't even care about the game they're making in the first place. You will never, and I repeat, you will never get good games from bad developers. All right, that's just not how it works. Okay, it's like asking a fucking slug or a cat to drive a car. It's impossible. So yeah, we need better quality games, bigger games. Okay. Not every single one of them has to be open world. I mean, when I mean bigger games, I mean like big production, you know, like big quality games, like Resident Evil 4 kind of, or Resident Evil 4, or like Rockstar quality, you know? Stuff like that, you know, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping that the redemption of Xbox will actually be a real thing one day. It all depends. Like, it all depends on where Xbox takes things in the future. You know, if Xbox, like, listen, this is what Phil Spencer, Microsoft, and Xbox Game Studios should do. You look at Starfield, you look at Hi-Fi Rush, you look at the good games that you have made, and you see how much people appreciate and love these good games, and you tell yourself, if this is what people want, and if this is what will make us more money, and make us more successful, then this is the thing that we should pursue. Not just Bethesda, but every studio of Xbox, every studio Xbox owns, should do what Bethesda is doing right now for Starfield. And Microsoft and Phil Spencer should give every other studio the support that they have given Bethesda. Because let me tell you something. Besides the fact that Starfield was in development for nearly a decade, Microsoft actually gave Bethesda a lot of help. They helped a lot. They supported them. They gave them time. They gave them plenty of time, actually. And this is exactly what I have been wanting for Xbox since the Xbox One era. I don't want Microsoft to just be... I don't want Microsoft to just approach the developers and be like, hey guys, make us a game so we can put it on Game Pass. And then they're like, okay, what kind of game do you want us to make? And Microsoft is like, we don't care. Just make us a game. Make it bad, make it good, make it however you want. Just make it so we can put it on Game Pass. No, that's not what I want. I want Microsoft and Phil Spencer to actually be involved with not just one, but every single studio making their games. And I want Microsoft to make sure that these games can be the best that they can possibly be. The best of the best. That's all I want from Microsoft. Because that is what will be the redemption of Xbox. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to make a couple of shout outs. First shout out goes to Gaming Computers. He has been making a lot of comments on all my videos and he's been watching a lot of my videos. So Gaming Computers, huge shout out to you, man. Next shout out goes to my boy M64 Bros. He's a great YouTuber. Thanks for being there for me, bro. Third shout out goes to my best friend Frosty Jake. Thanks for being there for me, bro. And my next shout out goes to all of you. For those of you who actually watched the full video, like if you guys are still here right at this moment, thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I just want to say thank you. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of my subscribers, both new and old. I want to thank all of you guys who have been sticking by this channel since I got here on YouTube. And for all of you who have waited for me to come back and have just stuck by me when I've been on my very long breaks. Because I have been gone for quite a long time, just been busy with life, complicated shit. I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you guys because none of this would be possible without you guys. So just huge shout out to you guys. I thank you guys so much. I love you all. You guys are the reasons why I do what I do for you guys here on YouTube, and you guys are the reasons why I love making videos. It's all for you guys. So thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good shit. And if you want to contact me via Discord or Xbox or PlayStation, just ask and I will give you my contact information. I will leave the name of my Discord in the description or comment section so you can add me on Discord. Maybe we can make a little server. I've been trying to make a Discord server, but I've been having some issues. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers to Xbox. Cheers to gaming. And yeah, happy gaming to all you guys, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and stay safe, and have a good one, guys. This is Mr. Rage signing out. Bye-bye.